Raja Jackson has pled not guilty to the Syko Stu incident. A WWE champion is injured and is possibly vacating the title, and scrap plans for a returning WWE star has been revealed. Stay tuned for all the wrestling news. Kicking things off today, we're back. It's Sam and Frizz. It's been a while.
It's the old weekend team. Yeah.
It is indeed. But we've got some news about Santos Escobar, another returning star. Now, according to he's a returning star.
It's hokey-cokey, wasn't it? It's like he's in, he's out, he's in.
And he is going to be shaking it all about, but we don't know where yet on the WWE roster. But according to Body Slam Plus on Patreon, the recently released and returning WWE star Santos Escobar was originally scheduled and planned to defeat El Hijo del Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. Now, this would have originally seen Escobar hold AAA's top title alongside his Legado del Fantasma faction members when they were the AAA tag team champions.
They would have been dripping in gold, in other words.
They would have been.
Yeah.
And they were... They went down to AAA and they had a trios match. They won, and it looked like they might be being positioned as one of the top acts there. Now, Los Garza did win the AAA Tag Team Championships. They appeared on SmackDown with it, but they weren't really positioned with Santos as like a main focus of that.
Do you think that well, I guess at the same time, like the Dom responses have just been so organically huge that it could be that, hey, we've got this great plan. Oh, we've kind of got to go with this plan now.
I think that's really what it is. Dom has had an incredible run in AAA, and it's meant that everything that they maybe once had planned for that brand has kind of pivoted to be about Dom and El Grande Americano,
it's
another
become
member.
a fair bit more freeform.
It has. As much as though this might give us an indication of what is in the plans for Santos Escobar going forward. We know that his recent return to WWE and his recent contract renewal with them was them addressing creative issues that they may have had. So perhaps he wasn't happy with the plans that they had. Maybe that was part of it. And he's like, I want to be on the main roster. I don't want to be in AAA.
Yeah.
We will see when he does make his return on screen, but we're not quite sure when that is just yet.
No, they've got to be happy to have retained his services, though. And I think that once they find the right position for him, that's the key thing. But the one thing I don't want to happen is all too often people are re-signed and then what?
They just get lost.
Look at the R-Truth situation. Everybody obviously was sort of up in arms and very upset about it. R-Truth comes back, R-Truth disappears, and there's this pattern that we need to, hopefully it doesn't happen here again.
Yes, it's strange. It's the WWE roster is huge right now, as you know, we've gone over that many times in the sense that they have such a large, deep roster and people do get lost in the shuffle these days. Hopefully that won't happen with Santos, especially considering the contract he's now on is supposedly very large money, and they got through their creative troubles. But going from one return to another, Omos is back in WWE. Obviously, Omos is some name that people have been really high on this year, despite making like no main roster appearances.
He's been a star in Japan. He's been a star in Mexico. The last time we saw him was obviously at Triple Mania in the Copa Badal match, which he went on to win. But last night he returned at an NXT live event in a match against Lexis King, in which he was victorious, and it was a bit of a squash.
It was a bit of a squash. Lexis King tried to talk crap to Omos essentially, and Omos just picked him up, chokeslammed him, and got the victory.
It's like picking a fight with a wall.
It is. Yeah, you just don't. It's the wall, brother. It's the wall. I think this is hopefully a sign of things to come for Omos, that he's going to be back in regular WWE programming and plans, and maybe this is just to get him more used to the style once he's been in Noah and he's now been in AAA.
We do know that Undertaker was apparently very hot on Omos, and Undertaker was somebody who was paying very close attention to Omos and trying to help him develop as a big man, right? Because Undertaker's one of the most successful big men of all time. But I think that might mean we see maybe more Omos in AAA with Undertaker's creative position there. But I do hope we get a more prominent position for him on the main roster, ideally.
He's also just a lovely bloke.
He is,
everything we've seen about Omos is he's so nice, and that you want to root for him. So hopefully he will be back on our screens very soon. People that won't be on our screens very soon, though, is some multiple WWE ID talent. This came out on social media last night, and it was revealed that Zeta Steele and Kylie Ray have both departed WWE and the WWE ID programming and contract situations, and they'll not be continuing continuing with that. Now, posting on her social, Zeta Steele said, "I've decided not to renew my WWE ID contract. I'm incredibly grateful for all the knowledge, experience, and opportunities I've gained along the way. But at the end of the day, I have to do what's best for me." It's a weird situation because the WID stuff is still very new. Like, even though it's a year.
It's got a very loose form now, doesn't it? And it's not quite defined. We know what it's supposed to be, but it's not quite seeped in enough to the point where, okay, that's that island there out at sea, that's ID. But I think that it's going to go through these phases, especially because it seems to be that it's independent talent kind of coming in for runs with it. So I don't know what the contracts are like, if it's like a long-term thing or a short-term thing, if there's opt-outs or opt-ins. But I think that ultimately ID will be around for a while, but I think it's going to, sort of like NXT did, change in form.
Quite fluid for sure. The other name, obviously, Kylie Ray, who was recently the first ever WWE ID Women's Champion until that belt was vacated. She announced that she was pregnant recently and wouldn't be able to continue competing. She posted on social media saying, "Today I share that my time with WID is coming to an end, and I was informed my contract will not be renewed. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunities, memories, and people I met along the way. Thank you to everyone who supported me during this chapter. It truly means the world." Two different situations there. It seems that Zeta Steele has decided not to renew her contract, whereas Kylie, it's
not
very much a case of not being renewed, which may give us an indication that WID is continuing and how it's going to be, and where it's like, okay, maybe we've not got a use for you, or we've not seen you progress.
It feels like a bit of an autonomous scouting system, doesn't it?
It does.
So it's kind of, I think, as I said, it's probably always going to be around in some form or fashion, but I think it's going to change quite drastically as it goes.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. Staying with NXT, though, we unfortunately have the news that NXT champion is injured, which could give us an indication that they may need to shake things up with the title picture and maybe vacate the belt. Now, this occurred last night in NXT at the live event.
So this all comes from reports from those in attendance at last night's NXT, but current women's champion Jacy Jayne has suffered an injury. There's footage on social media showing her lying at ringside receiving medical attention after the match, and a Reddit report from a fan in attendance at the event noted that Jayne grabbed her quadriceps toward the end of the match and then tagged out. Following the match, which saw the babyfaces pick up the win, the referee then threw up the X symbol, indicating that she was injured. Jayne then had to be helped to the back by WWE's medical team. So this is not sounding good.
Yes, and the immediate thought when I read that story this morning was, could it be a storyline thing? But they tend not to do storyline injuries on live events, especially on the NXT
and why
circuit.
would they do quads? Have some respect for Triple H, damn it.
Exactly. You don't want to ruin that. Bring back that memory for him. I'll be intrigued to see how they deal with this. Jacy Jayne has been a big part of TV over the past, I want to say a couple of years, but like mostly during the past few months, being the NXT Women's Champion. She's been in that TNA NXT stuff. So it'll be intriguing to see how they deal with this. Hopefully it's not serious. Hopefully it's just a tweak.
Hopefully it's a tweak or a pang or something just minor that's maybe going to take a couple of weeks at most.
Yes.
Like, that's what we got to all hope for. If not, you don't want to really start thinking down that line because of how much of a featured part she's been. So I think it's one of those where fingers crossed for her, sending all the best that it is just something very minor, and it's maybe just a bad landing or something, but
fingers crossed, because she has been quite integral to the TNA and WWE NXT's crossovers. And speaking of that crossover, we obviously saw the Inspiration make their WWE in-ring returns this past week at the NXT TNA Showdown. Their current TNA Knockouts tag team champions, but their contracts are up this weekend, according to a report from Fightful Select. It's Bound for Glory this weekend, and supposedly
after that,
they're gone. Well, the belief is, according to Fightful Select, that they will remain with TNA. The hope from the company is that they will be keeping them long term, but the report notes that they were both signed to short-term deals, and they've put the belts on them, which is a big risk when folk are on short-term deals.
But we've been hearing that TNA has been favouring short-term deals for quite some time now. Yeah. It feels like it works for TNA. It seems like it's quite a risky proposition for any company, but TNA has obviously been around for so long that I think it's built up that level of trust with people. But I think that it makes sense that maybe with their financials, you can bring somebody in for a couple of months and then go, okay, we don't need you till like November, so see you in November.
Yeah, that's a good point, because they do block tapings rather than like long-term weekly programs. For the most part, they do occasionally do the live stuff and the weekly tapings. biggest question mark over this is obviously they've been on WWE TV.
Yep.
They're currently champions. In theory, not saying it's going to happen because they are on friendly terms, they could then just sign a contract with WWE.
Yeah.
And if WWE's gone, oh, we liked you on NXT this week, we've got history with you guys, you come back to us. It's that big question mark over how beneficial is this relationship between the two companies right now.
Or are WWE willing to sign shorter term deals to use them while they're not needed by TNA? I think it'd be foolish for WWE to start just buying
up talent.
because obviously that's what they're doing, but like to do it en masse.
Yeah.
Like I think that it makes the most sense for them to be like, look, no, we're helping TNA retain their talent.
Integrate the talent slowly like they've done with Joe Hendry, and then you come over to us.
So I think it's one of those where I could see it, but at the same time, I think from a PR standpoint, maybe they're more likely to be like, come in for a little program and then back to TNA.
Or encourage them to sign up to TNA's new longer-term contracts with them, so they don't have to pay them themselves.
Yeah.
We're going to round things out just now, though, with the latest on the Raja Jackson Syko Stu incident. Now, the latest on this is Raja Jackson appeared in court yesterday as he faces 2 charges relating to the attack on Syko Stu at Knox Pro back in August. Now, at the court appearance, he pleaded not guilty to the charges. Now, he faces charges of 1 felony count of battery with bodily injury and 1 misdemeanor count of battery, with prosecutors seeking a sentencing enhancement that could see Jackson spend up to 7 years in prison should he be found guilty. Now, the felony charge usually carries a potential sentence of up to 4 years in prison, so they are looking for something a little bit longer for this one. He'll next be in court in November on the 24th, where they will continue through the charges and go through the not guilty plea. Interesting that obviously there is video footage of this incident happening. It's been an ongoing process. A not guilty plea is a big plea to enter with the video footage there, but obviously a court of law will go through that.
I have seen people speculating that it could be a case of maybe looking at, arguments for diminished responsibility and things like that, but it's all legalese, and to be honest, I was quite expecting a not guilty plea to be entered, because I don't think it just the whole situation, right?
Yes, obviously we've covered that in the past, so you can read all about that on cultaholic.com to find out more, and we will keep you updated as this story progresses. But we've got some content coming out this weekend. We've got obviously Crown Jewel tomorrow, Crown Jewel Perth. It's on a lovely, glorious time of 1 p.m. in the afternoon. You can have lunch, you can have a nice chill afternoon with the
cheese sandwich and some wrestling.
But if you're having your breakfast at 11 a.m, you can join Sam and Andrew for live reactions for that. But in the meantime, you could check out pitches for Crown Jewel. That's on the channel right now.
We've got predictions up as well.
Predictions on the channel. We've got live streams. Not only the live stream tomorrow, but Sam, what are you doing at 1 p.m. today on a Friday?
Well, because that Crown Jewel's happening in Australia. The SmackDown is happening in Australia. So right now, today at 1 p.m. SmackDown's going to be live, and myself and little Mr. Dingle,
Big Dingle,
we're going to be live watching SmackDown.
It's going to be fun afternoon, so check that out at 1 p.m. today. We'll also have,
here on YouTube as well.
Yes, youtube.com/cultaholic/live. We'll also have tomorrow What Happened At. We'll have WTF moments in the preceding days after the show. We'll have so much content coming at you, so check out patreon.com/cultaholic for extra content. The brand new episode of Pain Per View is out now.
And what a doozy it is.
Not going to reveal what the show is, so go and check it out on Patreon. If you sign up at the copper tier, you get early access to some of our best videos. That is all we've got for you just now. We might be back later on today. He'll be back later on today.
I'll be back.
1 o'clock. We'll see you then.
Tatty bye.